Right guys, so in the last video we looked at adding score and we got that working. We got the every time you passed a hazard it meant that you gained score. So in this video what we're going to look at is we're going to look at adding UI elements that actually show that. So to start with, we'll get the text on the screen, we'll position it, and then we'll add the functionality. So I want you to right click in the hierarchy, go to UI and add text. And what you'll see when you do this is it brings in a canvas and it brings in the text. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this up. So the way I like to use this, I like to use something called anchors and anchor positions. So essentially, if we look at the text here, it's in the middle of nowhere. I'll drag it into here, but it's all going to change in a second anyway. I've got a blue background at the moment, so you might not be able to see it very well, to be fair. So I'm going to make it white. So that it's in there. Right, and these things here, where it's like a little, I was going to say plus, but it's more of a time symbol, they're the anchors. So as you can see, if you watch up here, when I move these, they move around as well. And this is how we're going to set our text, but I'm going to do it numerically. So X and Y, so the X, I want the minimum of the X to be against the side because this is going to go in the top left hand corner, and I want the maximum of the X to be, let's say, 0.3. Yeah, that'll do. The maximum of the Y I want at 1 and the minimum I want at 0.8. And what we'll see is when we zero these numbers out at the top up here and then we center this, that text is right at the top where it needs to be. This is one way of doing it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to put the text in, and then in a later video we're going to look at high scores because it uses a different system where we need to save and store high scores. So just in this video we're going to look at score, and this is quite easy. I'm thinking about tweaking this because we're using up a lot of the screen space just for text. So now I think about it, that seems more, yeah, that seems better. So we've got text. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that when we start the game, this text doesn't just say new text, it tells us the actual score. So this is how we do this. So what you want to do is you want to go to your scripts folder. You want to go to your helicopter controller and open that up. And you'll get something that looks a little bit like this. So to start with, if we started writing the coding now, it wouldn't work because we need to tell Unity that we're going to be using the UI system now. So we go to using Unity Engine. Oh, not like that. Dot UI. This allows us to use text functions. So we're going to assign public text, and we're going to call this score text. Nice and simple. And what we're going to do now is this is where things get interesting, because in the update function we are going to need to tell it, right, this is what the score text is going to be. So we're going to say score text dot text equals score dot to string. And the reason we do this is simple, really. It's just essentially to get it so that it converts an integer to a text file, and it also references the text file. So what we should see now, if we save this, when we click play, this is just going to be a number at the top. If it works. Give it a second. It needs to compile scripts before it begins playing, so that's what we're waiting for at the moment. And as we can see, we've run into an issue straight away because I've been really clever here. We've just set that up. However, I haven't actually referenced it. So you can see this when it says object reference not set to an instance. This is basically saying you're telling me something exists, but you've not referenced it. So as we can see down here, score text says none. So we need to drag that into there for this to work. So now we can see that there's a 0 at the top of the screen. When I get past this should go to 1. There we go. We've got a score appearing at the top of the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very quickly show you a way of this looking a little bit better, because yeah, we've got a number at the top of the screen, great, but we don't know what that is. It's just a number. So the way we do this is quite interesting. We go in, we type in score. Oh, not that. Right, so what we're saying there is this bit of text plus that bit of text equals this bit of text, which seems really weird doing maths with words, but that's what we're doing. What I would suggest is make sure you've got the space in there, because it also takes into account the space. So now when we play this, it should have that bit followed by this bit. And you'll see. There we go. So we can now see at the top here, that is our score. And when we go past something, it's referencing. It's changing just the number, it's not changing the text. So there we go. That is score not only working, but that is score being shown on the screen as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this video here. Yet again, another short video. I like to do some of these videos in just short increments, so you've got time to stop and go back through. And in the next video, I'm going to show you sound, and I'm going to show you how to put sound into the game. And then after that video, that's where we're going to be looking at some of these more complex systems about saving high scores, and we'll finish off with a tidying up system. So yeah, there we go. Thanks a lot. Catch you in the next video.